right. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good, good. You got through the eclipse? We had a good eclipse, everybody? Yeah? Well, today we have a couple of special things going on, and really glad you're all here. We have a guest speaker with us today, and that's Reverend Fayann. She's a new licensed minister with Unity, and she was in one of my classes, actually. I came on board after her, going to class. And then I'll introduce you a little bit more about her later. We also have Barbara Murrin, who is going to be doing our platform today and helping us out sometimes with that, because I've been doing both the platforming and the speaking. So we're trying to get to a place where I can just focus on speaking and staying real good and clear there, and then have platform people like we used to have when I first got here. So if anybody sees what she's doing and is interested in doing that, would love to have you help us with platform. So it's a very important role, and it motivates and gets people excited, and has a couple of different voices up here besides just me speaking all the time. So at this point, I'd like to introduce to you Barbara Murrin.
Thanks, Bates.
You're welcome.
Certainly, Bates has welcomed you. I want to welcome you as well. I have been 40 years in New Thoughts, started with religious science, and moved to the mountains and found Unity of Blairsville. And as I hope you will feel here today, is that there was something very special. It not only felt welcoming, the energy just coming in felt very welcoming to me. And so here I am welcoming you. And so enjoy. I can see everybody has, can you all see me? No one looked into the eclipse. And we're ready to move forward. The Christ candle has been lit. And of course, that's the symbol and symbolic for the Christ consciousness within each of us. And we each bring that in our own special, unique way that we move and live on the planet. So if you'll just for a moment look at the Christ candle and feel that unique energy and the uniqueness of each of us and the oneness of all of us through the Christ candle. The next thing is Barbara's supposed to look up here, and it's called the Statement of Truth. And so if you would read that with me. And everyone can just participate at what level that they feel comfortable. So if everyone will join me, if you're comfortable doing that, there is only one presence, one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, the omnipotent. And then we have the Unity of Blairsville vision. So if we can all read this together. Centered in God, we co-create a community and world that works for all. Here comes the prayer box and opening prayer. And who's the prayer chaplain today who's going to come forth? Oh, Josh, who actually is a friend of mine and introduced me to Unity.
Good morning, namaste. All right, so this morning we have the prayer box up here. We have some sheets here that if you would like to have the prayer chaplains pray for you, we keep this for a month and we send this to Silent Unity, who's been praying over these prayers for over 100 years. And they pray over it for a month. So if you have any prayers, just write them down here and stick them in the box. And I think that's all I need to say about that. And so if we would close our eyes and we can do the morning prayer or the opening prayer. We want to get super relaxed and comfortable and focus on that Christ energy within us, flowing through us and flowing out of us. And being aware of that which we are, which is stillness and all that is. And we give gratitude for that flows through us. And with that, I'll say amen.
Thank you, Josh. Next on is the Congregational Song, One Big Family.
So if you'd like to stand, feel free, and we will do our congregational this morning with Gary, Lynn, Floyd. This will get your heart pumping a little bit.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Gary Lynn Floyd, for that. Now, if you'd like to just take a moment, if you'd like to shake hands or give a hug, feel free to stand up. If you don't want one today, feel free to sit down. Enjoy.
Oh my God!
Joshua, you're doing the daily word today, right?
So today we are speaking about prosperity. I open my mind to divine ideas and new avenues of supply are revealed. As I'm paying my bills, I may feel frustrated with my debt-to-income ratio. I pray for abundance and repeat affirmations. Why then does it seem as though the creative laws of abundance aren't working for me? I'm approaching prosperity from a belief in lack. My focus is on my perceived needs. Since what I focus on increases in my life, what I am doing is creating more needs, the opposite of my conscious intention. So I shift my focus to spirit within. I learn to appreciate the ways in which prosperity is already present in my life. I open my mind to divine ideas, which immediately guide me to resources and channels. Prosperity comes to me in new and wonderful ways. The scripture for today is, I, the Lord, test the mind and search the heart, to give to all according to their ways, according to the fruit of their doings. Jeremiah 17:10.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Now I'd like to, Fayann, if you'd like to come on out. Just go ahead and take your place up there. I'd like to introduce y'all. Fayann and I have known each other for a number of years down in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I came from prior to coming from Orlando. And Fayann has been with the Urban Ministry School. And when I started at school, going into the Master's of Divinity program, and I went up to the campus to live there for the first year, Fayann was already in the Urban Ministry School out of Detroit, Michigan. And she just completed her classes and is now a licensed Unity minister. She's going through some internship programs that within the next year she'll go into her ordination as well. So what she's doing today is this is finishing up one of her requirements for internships, and she's doing a couple of those things between here and Chattanooga and different places. But I'd like to welcome Fayann and thank you. Congratulations on the work you're doing. And you know, it's so nice when we have new ministers coming on board to have that love and support that we all need to inspire each other forward, because that's the key to everything. Is you want to feel loved, you want to feel inspired, you want to feel appreciated. And Fayann, just know you are loved and appreciated in all you do, and we're just grateful to have you in the ministry at Unity. So thank you for the message today.
Thank you.
And we're also going to be having a healing today. So we're going to have a healing service, which she's going to take us through, and look forward to it. And at the very end, everybody who wants to will be able to come up and participating in that healing service.
Right. Thank you. Well, as Bates said, we are going to have a healing service at the end of this, and we are going to heal from within, because that's where real healing happens. In the early part of Unity, or before Unity even began, Charles needed a healing, and so did Myrtle. Charles had a leg that was injured as a child, so he did not have a full length, and he wore a lift in that leg. And Myrtle had the illusions of tuberculosis and had been to many doctors and was given a 6-month time to live. And she didn't accept that. She knew that there was a healing somewhere for her. And it's just like any healing that we have, or situation. Have you ever had a situation and you've gone out there and you've done everything you can and you can't think of anything else? And finally, it's just like the only thing left to do is pray. I've had several of those, and I imagine most of you have too. And that was Myrtle's experience. She and Charles had gone to many lectures, seen many healers, done all kinds of things. And finally, she went to a spiritual speaker, E.B. Weeks, and through him, she began to pray. And she prayed in her home at night. And this was just her and spirit in the beginning. But what happened is the neighbors saw her get better, saw something was happening with her. And so did her family. And they wanted to know what was happening here. What was she doing? And so she invited them to come and pray with her in the evening. And so they did, and they began to heal, and they began to get better. And Charles saw what was going on, and he said, well, if this God of yours can lengthen my leg, then I'll believe. And Charles joined them too. And as they prayed day after day, his leg did lengthen. And it was over a period of time. But in the end of his healing, he had a very small lift in his shoe. And that was a miracle kind of thing. But it was connecting with that spirit within that provided that healing. And that was the beginning of silent unity, that prayer work right there. Charles began to study the Bible, study anything that he could get his hands on or come across. And that was the beginning of his learnings and his writings and speakings and what became unity. So as they continued their prayer work, their light was bright. And they were being noticed. I mean, when you have a bright light and when you're praying, nothing else can happen. I mean, you just have that light comes forth, and it is strong and it is powerful, and people notice it, and they want to know, what are you doing? What's happening here? From Isaiah 58, when your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Is that not the best? You and I are lights in our community. Just as Jesus was our way shower, we are also the way showers in the different things that we do every day. People notice and they learn from us. In Matthew 9, there's a story about the healing of the woman who was a Gentile and reached out and touched Jesus' robe. And Jesus felt the energy leave him. And he turned and he said, "Who touched me?" And she said, "I did." And he said, "What do you want?" And she said, "I want to be healed." And he said, "Your faith made you well." It was her faith. And it's interesting, he did not say, "You're not Jewish," you know. He recognized that this was a principle for everyone, even the Gentiles. And the disciples were a little bit, this is a Gentile. But Jesus told them that we're going to take this message to the Gentiles too. And then in Mark 10, there was a blind man along the street, and he knew that Jesus was passing. And he said, "Son of David, Son of David." He was hollering as loud as he could. And the people around him were saying, "Be quiet, be quiet." But he didn't. He kept hollering. And Jesus heard him, and he said, "What do you want?" And he said, "I want to see." Jesus said to him, "Your faith has made you well." Now, Jesus was talking about our faith. It was within us. Our healing is within us. It was his message. It wasn't that Jesus did something or touched somebody or he, did a ritual or whatever. But he was teaching us that our faith and what is inside of us will heal us, will make us strong. And every circumstance and every situation that we enter into gives us the opportunity to build our faith, to strengthen our faith, to be more of who we are and who we came to be here. According to the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, faith is defined as a deep inner knowing that which is sought is already ours for the taking. It's already within us. We are whole, and we can heal ourselves. We just have to recognize it. Everything we do, we build on our faith. Several years ago, actually more than several now, but I had a knee that had the illusion of pain. And over the years, it had gotten a little stronger in the illusion. My mother and sister are prayer chaplains, and I had wanted to go visit them, and I thought, well, what a wonderful opportunity to heal this knee. And I was at that point trying to heal my family connections. You know how we all have those kind of things. We part company a little bit and then come back together. And so I went down and spent a week with my mother, and we went to church, and I had told them that I wanted this healing. And that at the beginning of their service, they have a healing service. And I went up front, and my mother and sister were there together, and we prayed and we prayed and we prayed together, and we healed a lot of the stuff that had been inside of us and had affected our relationships. We did some forgiveness work. It was incredibly powerful. And we prayed for this healing in our family, and we prayed for the healing in my body. And we prayed for maybe 10 minutes. And during that praying time, that pain got less and less and less. And then the real me appeared in my consciousness without pain. And I was very grateful. Several days later, I was going about my day, and I noticed this illusion of pain is starting to come back in my knee, and I thought, wait a minute, this has been healed. I don't accept this. This is not going to happen. I'm going to be pain-free. And I started to pray that I was whole, that I was healthy, that every cell was perfect within my body, doing its normal function, whatever that cell was created to do, its life work, it was doing in a perfect order. And as I prayed in the beginning, my ego, this pain was my ego, just trying to, hey, I can heal you, I can help you out here, just let me give. And Spirit is just here, very calm, very quiet, just waiting, just waiting. And ego's over here bouncing around and trying to cause, and here's Spirit. And the more that I prayed and connected with Spirit and acknowledged and recognized Spirit in my life and in my body, the less the ego got, and that pain went away. And that happened over several days. But each time that illusion of pain came, it was less. It was just like, I'm going to check it out, just see if there's an opportunity. Maybe I can convince her that, I'm here and I'm good for her. And then Spirit's just waiting. And the more I acknowledge Spirit, the less this ego becomes. And in the end, I've been pain-free of that illusion for many years now, or a number of years. But it was so interesting to me how the ego works, how I could just see it talking to me and trying to find that little door, that window to sneak in, you know. But if we stay in spirit, there's no opportunity here. We're going to do the right thing and the perfect thing. You know, God's purpose ensures that healing does occur, that we have the opportunity to knock on that door and to be the whole person that we came here to be, and to do what is ours to do. And we do that with faith, and we do that with strengthening ourselves. I had another situation with ego, and a little different. And this person and I, fellow and I, had a situation and some discomfort, and ego says, hey, you know, you ought to be really ticked off. Actually, you ought to be really angry, and you ought to let him know it. You know, those kind of things? Yeah, okay. And so I said something. Boy, the minute I said it, I saw the pain on his face. And I knew I was wrong. What he really needed was love and compassion and caring. And what I gave him was not any of that. So with then loving and support, we both grow and we both can understand each other. And maybe we don't spend a lot of time together, and that's okay, but at least in that moment we can love and support. And it's the ego, you know, when just as trying to get any door in there. And then we go, or what happened with me, then I felt guilty after I had said something. And it's when we're in this place with Spirit, that love and ease and oneness, and all grows from that. All grows from that. There's another part of healing that is significant, and I talked a little bit about that, forgiveness work. And it's like I think, oh, are we going to do that again? Do I really have to do this forgiveness stuff? It seems like that's what I've done a lot of. But that's part of the healing. And part of the healing, a big part of this for me, is to forgive myself. And that for me is the hardest. I can forgive others, but then I want to hang on to what this is in me that it feels so awkward. What, forgive myself? Yes, forgive myself. I'm doing the best I can do in the moment. And then there's a shift, a realization, a little growth that says, hey, you can do better. I can do better. And so we forgive ourselves. The first time I did that, and somebody said, well, you know, forgive yourself. And I thought, what? It is a foreign concept to me. And I thought, how do you do that? And I asked her, how do you? And she said, ask God. And so I did. I asked God, how do I forgive myself? I don't even understand this. And I was shown how to do that, but not just shown how to do that. how easy it is just to forgive myself after I get past the guilt and past that thing. And now I'm able to do that much quicker. But it's a feeling of relief, a feeling of releasing it and letting it go and saying, God, okay, here it is. It's yours. You do with it what needs to be done. And for me, that works. Now, during this time in the meditation, we're going to move a little bit into that. And we're going to do a two-part. Bates is going to join me. We're going to do a two-part meditation. It's a little different, maybe, than what you're used to doing. But we're going to do some of our healing work and our forgiveness work, and then Bates is going to do part of the meditation, and after that, anyone that would like to come forward, we're going to have the prayer chaplains come up, and you can come up and be prayed with. If you have a family member, a coworker, a neighbor, there's a situation that you want healed or know needs to be healed, you're welcome to come forward with that too. Okay, if we can, as we go into this place of peace and inner knowing that Spirit is with us in all that we do, we relax and know that the universe supports us, that there is only love and goodness, and that we are blessed to be here at this time. As this golden light enters the crown of your head, flowing down your body into every cell, flowing down your body into the bottom of your feet. Relaxing your head, those muscles down in your neck. Just relax. And any thought that comes that is not serving you today, serving you at this time, just release it and let it go. Relax the shoulders, just let them drop. Your arms. Relax the muscles in your chest and your back, your thighs, your legs. Relax the muscles in your ankle and your feet, and that space under your feet that grounds us to the earth. Relax. And as we open up to look inside ourselves, look at the places where we have wounds, where we desire and need healing. We bring that forth in our mind, and we forgive those who are part of it. We forgive the situation. We release that situation and those people. And we forgive ourselves. And we pull back those hooks and those ties so that they can be healed and released. Let us continue to think and looking honestly at ourselves. What was our part? What did I say or do? Let's forgive ourselves. For we truly are children of God. And there is much for us to do, much for us to love, much for us to build on. We are so blessed.
And now let's think about an example that your faith is strong in. Find that example in your mind's eye. So let's take a minute to fill our faith and build that faith until it is absolute. That faith we've been working on for a lifetime, to understand what faith is within us. And that knowing that when we put that faith in God, that higher source, everything we know comes true and it is full of joy. No doubt, faith and trust within us, we will recognize our wholeness. And it's a feeling, it's a knowing. Our hearts and minds are filled with joy, love, and our faith is completely in alignment with the Christ. Now, with your eyes still closed, we're going to have our prayer chaplains come to the front. And they're going to be praying with you, for your family, or your friends, your neighbors, or your coworkers, for any reason or any situation. We recognize wholeness in all people. And as soon as our prayer chaplains are in place, you can begin to open your eyes now and come forward and allow Spirit to pick the prayer chaplain that will pray with you. Allow Spirit to come through you and be guided to any one of the prayer chaplains that are here for your own personal prayer.
This could be for a family member. There could be a neighbor, a coworker. It could be somebody that's not present, a situation, something that you are looking forward to doing, or maybe there's a change coming in your life. And the prayer chaplains can pray with each other too. We join together in one mind and one heart. Know that we are all one in love, caring, compassion, and joy. That we are so blessed in this moment, in this time, for the wholeness that we are, for giving our lives and our power over to the care of God as we understand Him. God working in our lives. In us, through us, and around us. So powerfully, with joy. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, God. Yes.
If you'd like to repeat in your way the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Thank you so much. I hope you all received the healing you were looking for today. I hope you found it to be love and peaceful. And we thank you, Fayann. Reverend Fayann, we thank you. Now we're going to do our offertory prayer. If you'll rub your hands together with me and repeat. Divine love flowing through me, bless us and multiply us, all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I praise you. Our offerings brought back up to the front. If I can figure out how to do this cord, I'm used to having the lavalier on. If you come on back up, thank you, our ushers. With me? We dedicate and consecrate these offerings of love to the will, the way, and the work of God. So it is. Thank you. And now we'd like to welcome any new visitors. Do we have any new visitors in the room today? I think. Yay! You guys are from Ellijay. Okay. So you're from Ellijay. You just moved up to Ellijay, right? So it's so nice to have you with us, and we hope you'll be back. We do have a packet to give you, and someone will be. You already got it. Okay, you got that. But we do have a packet as well. We'll make sure you get that before you leave. Okay, what we got next, Josh? Acknowledgements. We have so many acknowledgements, but I'm going to go ahead and let's just move over to announcements if we could real quick, because I'd like to. We have a lot of things going on this month, and so in all of our announcements, I'm going to start out with we have our board nominations coming up. And if you have not filled out an application, we do have some wonderful people that have agreed to be on our board to really move us forward, and we're really looking forward to this. But we do need your application. They are sitting right outside, but we need your application if you'd like to be on the board, and a resume for you. And we'd like to have those as soon as possible, because we need to mail that out to the entire congregation over the next I think that's going to go out about the middle of next month. So it's real important. The nominees are, at this time, we have Daniel Keese, Joshua, we have Mary Cincy, Jillian, Maxine, Luis, and Leroy. And yeah, I think that's where we are right now. But we have a good full nomination of potential board members. So you're all going to get to vote on these guys. And we're probably going to be able to elect, I believe it's 6. Is that what we're looking at, Leroy? For the annual meeting? Something like that. It's going to be 6 or 8, something like that. But anyway, this is the application for the Board of Trustees, and we really want to make this a very powerful time where we co-create together as a board. We've come a long way in the last year, and it's really exciting. And thank you for all the past board members that have put all their effort and energy into bringing us to where we are. If you haven't seen these are our, for one day, let's live the golden rule. We have an event coming up September 23rd, and it was inspired out of community, out of kids being bullied at school. And each of us know what that kind of feels like. Somebody's been bullied in some way or some form or fashion by another person, or at least that's the way we have felt in some points in our lives. So when we reach out and we're seeing these things happen to kids, because of Snapchat, and it's just 100 times worse than it ever was, even now in our lives, or when it was, because these kids they're being taught how to bully. And so our objective at this event is to teach people it's not necessary to bully. That nice is the new cool. And we're going to be educating and training kids on these processes, and that's why we're doing this event. So for one day, can you live the golden rule? Can you go out and just be nice to everyone? You don't have to be everybody's best friend, but there's no reason you can't love them. And that's what we want to spread. That's the message. We want to be there for people. So we're going to do this from 12 to 10 o'clock. We're having a meeting today at 12 o'clock, and we need you all. We need every volunteer we can get to put this together, to reach out on Facebook, to go to our Facebook page, which is Unity and Diversity, and like that page, and then invite once you're on that page, invite every single one of your friends to be a part of this. We have about 15 volunteers on the volunteer page right now. We have another 12 to 15 that have signed up with me. So as you sign up there, we will ask for assistance, and we're going to need everything from parking to music to vendors to people to lead all of those things. So we need our congregation to pull together for this community, because it's not just about what's sitting in this room. We're trying to do something much bigger, much more loving, very outwardly reaching in community. So just know that. And we'll see you at 12 o'clock here, if you can possibly be here for that meeting. And we're going to assign it per you saying, I'd like to participate. So it's going to be a beautiful thing. Hold that date. Invite your friends. We got to get out to the schools. We got to get out to the children with parents to show them that there is a better and more loving way. And then every week we have a Course in Miracles study group. I'd like for us to pray for Mary Cincy. She's going through some testing and stuff right now as well. We have our potluck Wednesday at 6 o'clock. We have Carla's, since day one, Carla's been offering floor and chair yoga on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock before service from 9 to 10. And then Thomas does a beautiful meditation that holds a space here for all of us. We have a discussion group every other potluck. This last week we did a satsang, which was beautiful. We did the potluck, and then we sat here and we talked about questions that people have with their own spirituality, with where they're going. So Wednesdays are a great night to be here. We have a conscious movement the second Saturdays. That'll be next week, right? So we'll have that, and it's a lot of fun. And like I was telling you last week, it's a chance for you just to get up and dance with yourself, like you do at home in front of the mirror when nobody's looking. So Sunday potluck is going to be September 17th, which is the third Sunday of the month. Coming events, teach your children. So now it's time, and we will be changing our song shortly for our children. So as we change everything, now if we could just have the song go, and here we go. Let's sing in the kids. Here we go.
You're on the road, must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself. Your first and last is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's help is slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the ones they fix, the one you know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
All right, guys, what did y'all learn today?
We finished up our unit on prosperity today, and we're reviewing all about the 12 powers of man and all our spiritual qualities and how that gives all our prosperity to us. And Liberty, you want to read them to us?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm holding them up.
You hold it for her, so she can.
Oh, yeah, I know. That's a good idea. Thank you, Maxine.
Will, understanding, faith, imagination, enthusiasm, power, love, good judgment, strength, order, release, and life.
We did the 12-hour yoga with Carla, so we have for each one of the powers, we have a movement, okay?
Thank you.
And she's going to give us our Bible verse today, too.
Give and you will receive. Luke 6:38. You will be given much, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. It will spill into your lap. The way you give to others is the way God will give to you.
Thank you, guys. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Let's circle up and do our peace song. Let's sing this song. It's a fun one.
We hope you've enjoyed your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. We hope you've enjoyed your stay. Outside the sun is shining, seems like heaven ain't far away. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. We hope you enjoy your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day. We hope you enjoy your stay. Outside the sun is shining, seems like heaven ain't far away. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for the day.